Apparently, Zerg and Protoss are still not quite getting along, so we're gonna have another throwdown, this time on the map Oxide. We've got a former Korean champion playing Zerg, and a very interesting Polish player wielding the Protoss, who just went for a low ground pylon, and he is not hatch blocking, by the way, so I like him already. Actually, one of the most fascinating things about our Protoss player Gerald is his PvP win rate is just off the charts. Unfortunately, he's playing against the Zerg, so that doesn't particularly help him here. But occasionally, that's a sign of a real up-and-comer. I guess it's a stereotype, but it always makes me curious. Anywho, the literal translation of our Protoss player's name is Ruler of the Spear. But we're all just gonna go short for him here, and we're all just gonna call him Gerald!
Current world rank 48.
Spear Vidune. I never really thought about how perfect the name Gerald is for a Protoss player. That's a good omen. Extractor pool coming up for Zerg. Gerald's gonna get the scout on that. No cheese for either player in our opening. Which means we should be treated to a Nexus core for our Protoss player. Just so you know, no black holes were harmed in the making of this warp-in. Our Zerg player, for those of you who enjoy Morse code, is known as dash dot 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 dash dot dash dash dot. But for the rest of us, we call him DRG!
Current world rank 33.
Yeah, I totally had to look that up. The natural hatch is about to pop, and we'll see if we get anything other than the usual 2 queens, 4 lings out of DRG. Oh, Gerald's probe is still being rather aggressive. Are we gonna get an early first blood here? No, the probe backs off, and it is indeed 2 queens, 4 lings. Core completes. And we're looking for a chrono-boosted adept, which we have. No immediate warp gate research, but we do have a tech stashing pylon. And it's the Stargate. I'm sorry, GFG. One of our viewers is getting a little tired of seeing Protoss open with Stargate. Gerald's trying to delay that 3rd base, but with lings out on the map control briefly belongs to DRG. I say briefly because we know there's an adept coming out soon. 3rd base goes down. Warp gate research has started for Protoss, ling speed for Zerg, and the adept is not staying home. Gerald is sending it out across the map. That's going to be the correct choice for him. There's no sign of DRG sending his lings out, even though Protoss's wall-off is not yet complete. Speaking of things that are complete, that includes Protoss's Stargate. Oh, the lings don't pick up the shade. He gets inside. Gerald cancels it. I thought he had a chance to do some damage there, but he decides to be conservative. He started up an adept, by the way. There's a second shade. This time, though, DRG is ready. His lings pick it up. If the first shade wasn't good enough for him, the second one definitely wasn't. I see, he's waiting to double up his adepts. Now he's gonna try again with the double shade. DRG making it look like he's only got 4 lings when he's really got 8. Gerald doesn't take the bait, he cancels. Adepts going home, those shades were just a big tease. Meanwhile, DRG's Slow Lord is gonna see there's a second adept being made in that Stargate. The first one is streaking over to the main. DRG does have a single spore being built there. In fact, that's the only spot he's building spores. 3rd completes, there's nothing there to protect yet. DRG has a single queen in his main, and the spore is gonna complete just in time. Oh, DRG times that like a dream. A 3rd adept for Gerald. Warp gate research is gonna complete, and I think he's looking to link up his 2 oracles. There's actually a 3rd oracle underway. This is a little bit old school. Well, 2018 old school. And now DRG's lings are gonna try to scout that 3rd. Gerald just started it, and there's an opportunity to shut it down. 2 adepts are guarding it. They have minimal surface area. DRG goes for it anyway. That's gonna force additional adepts out. Unless Gerald was going for adepts anyway, in which case DRG just fell right into his hands. 10 lings for 1 adept, not bad. And the double oracles picked up a couple of drones as well. One of the oracles is deep in the red. DRG found the time to finish the spores. The Oracle duo is going to make it a trio by linking up with that 3rd Oracle. And Protoss is going to start its forge. Meanwhile, DRG has started a Roach Warren. He's probably thinking there's more adepts being made than there should be with this Stargate opening. Gerald's playing a style a little bit similar to Showtime. It's hard to know exactly what the tech choice is when Protoss is going for everything. Meanwhile, DRG is going to respond to the information he has by starting his lair. Gerald's stalker killed one of his overlords and supply capped him ever so briefly, so he's now making a slew of new overlords as well. Yeah, there's 6 adepts marching around. There is no Twilight Council to give them glaives, but it's enough that DRG's gonna be glad he didn't skip the Roach Warren. Oracle's trying to clear some creep. Oh, the tumor survives with 8 hit points. So does the second one. And the queens chase them out. DRG's creep spread really looks expansive to me. I always think that though when I see Zergs on smaller maps like Oxide. The Oracle has baited out the queens into overextending, and then the Adepts shaded in to capitalize. That was a terrific piece of teamwork. DRG is forced to build a big pack of lings to try to deal with this threat. His lair finishes and he starts roach speed. Oh, and an infestation pit. Gerald's finished a robo, and he started that Twilight Council. But it looks like he's also got a bit of a gateway explosion on the menu, and +1 attack. Speaking of exploding, DRG killed one of those oracles. No roaches being made for DRG. That's a lot of patience given that there's this adept death squad right on his border. But he wants to handle it with the more economical lings. He's gonna get the surround there. But then he thinks better. He wants to chase the shade instead, which then forces the cancel. That was very, very close. Gerald's robo's making observers, and he's adding the support bay for a future transition. Remarkably, his Twilight Council is not getting resonating glaives. He's getting blink for his non-existent stalkers. And the amazing Zinglinis are gonna make these rocks disappear. It's not real magic, guys. It's all done with mirrors. It may seem funny that these guys are getting upgrades for units they don't have. It's all future planning where they try to fake out their opponents. Wheels within wheels. Like the fact that DRG is making 11 Swarm Host. And he's going to support that with a force of speed roaches. This is going to be fun. This is the Swarm Host style without the Nidus Worm. I wasn't wrong, the creep has been aggressively extended, and the queens are marching forward. I've been spoiled because I've been watching so much Showtime, but it's easy to forget just how deadly this attack is. Gerald transitions to Stalkers. He needs the Locust to be triggered away from his base. But DRG is already in that threat zone. Just a terrific combined arms army out of DRG. It's Queen, Ling, Ravager, Roach, Swarm Host. Gerald's mind is blown and he's beaten all the way back to his third. I do love Protoss' Sim City with his gateways though. He's locked off the right-hand side of his base. And he's also going to get a Disruptor to try to beat the Zerg back. The Protoss army is very mobile. I don't know if it's very strong, but it's very mobile. The Locusts are close to coming off cooldown. Oh, there's the blink forward. The Stalkers are going to assassinate some of the Swarm Hosts. DRG pulls back in confusion. DRG has a way bigger army. Double in supply, but somehow Gerald is holding. Oh, he just lost his last Oracle. That Disruptor needs to get here now. Oh, the Stalkers just killing queens. Oh, but DRG got up the next Locust wave. Stalkers are great at running from Locust, not so great in a standing fight. DRG gets the snipe on the battery overcharge. A replacement shield battery is on the way. Oh, but the photon drops, and I think the third is gonna fall. But as soon as I say that, 8 more Stalkers warp in and blink right on top of the Zerg. The replacement shield battery arrives, and somehow Gerald is holding. Just barely. The third stays up. Gerald's even going to try for a fourth. DRG's almost got his 4th hatch ready to pop. And the game that should have ended is going to go another round. DRG still has 8 Swarm Hosts though, and they are fully loaded. His Lings move to shut down that 4th. DRG's Lings form a sharing circle right around it, and Gerald knows he has to cancel. He did get to kill 3 Ravagers in payment though. Somehow the supply gap is lessening, and Protoss is getting +3 attack. That's important. Did I say there were 8 Swarm Hosts left? Because it's now back up to 12. And DRG is hatching 12 more Roaches. Oh, the Swarm Host got a good position to launch those Locusts. Whatever that strange dome structure is, it is an absolutely wicked place to hide behind when you're launching attacks on the third. Just ask any Terran with tanks. Oh, I think the Locusts are going to snipe the Robo with a Disruptor inside. And that was, yes, his only robo. It looks like Gerald holds yet again, thanks to his terrific SimCity. He's got that solid wall of gateways protecting that battery overcharge. And now he's actually trying to counter. DRG still has twice the army size though. This is like that annoying poodle that goes up to you and barks at you. Though Protoss does have +2 attack and the Zerg only +1, that counts for something. Gerald's dumped his money into double robo. I think he wants to disruptor his way out of this predicament. Does he have the micro to back it up? If you caught my DRG versus Nightmare game that I cast recently, you saw that DRG's ability to dodge disruptors is really good. And of course, as soon as I say that, 3 Ravagers go up and smoke to a disruptor shot. Though I don't think DRG is looking to finesse this here. I think he's looking to crush this with overwhelming force. DRG pushes his way to the 3rd and he's like, what? New shield batteries? I just destroyed all of those. The Swarm Host Locusts find their way into the heart of the Protoss base once again. I don't understand it. Is this 3rd base impregnable? The good news for DRG is his 4th is completely up and running at this point. He's very much stopped droning though. So while the Zerg is pulling in more gas, the Protoss has slightly more minerals coming in. Gerald's making another attempt to get a 4th base up, but he's going to have to rescue it from that marauding roach. Protoss is advancing once again, even though he really doesn't have the units to back this up. I don't fault him for that though. I get the idea behind it. He wants to try to trigger those locust waves. If he can trigger them away from his base, he won't be constantly on the defensive. DRG is not fooled though. He saves his locusts. He's got the other half of his army to use to push the Protoss back. In fact, the Swarm Hosts are actually sneaking around the left-hand side, but they get caught by a round of Zealots. They have to release their locusts to save their skin, but there are juicy targets nearby, including that 4th base, which did complete. And that's going to be our first laser light show. Look at those locusts, so organized in an arc. And then they all die. Life is hard when you're a fruit fly. DRG is putting down a Hydra Den, a nice soft counter to Stalkers. And strangely, DRG is making a 2nd infestation kit. I think that's a mistake. He is about to finish +2 ranged attack, but he's only going to be even on upgrades for a short time. Gerald's halfway into researching I think, but do not know, with that extra infestation pit, that DRG might be planning to transition into lurkers. I think he robotically thought, you need the hive, and for that you need the infestation kit. But hold that thought as DRG just got position over the 3rd yet again. I think I want to call this base Masada. It's just unkillable. Oh, an amazing stat. Despite the constant battles that we've seen, Gerald's actually lost less than 100 units. Somehow he's cleaning this up again. All he lost was a photon. Yep, there's that hive tech, and there is that lurker den. Oh, and a Zealot hit squad waiting for a 5th base that isn't coming. I've seen a couple games now where Zealots in waiting have turned out to be liabilities. For example, I bet he wishes they were available to defend his 4th. That's gonna get canceled again. Or he's just gonna outright lose it if he's not quick. Oh yeah, he lost it. Protoss needs a fresh base. Zerg has a worker deficit, but he's still outmining the Protoss with his fresher bases. At the 13-minute mark, Protoss's first 2 bases are usually mining out. Cheap Lings picking up disruptor kills. Oh, and DRG stomped out that Zealot hit squad. Well, at least they died in glorious battle instead of sitting around. And DRG's locusts arrive yet again. Gerald blinks away and lets them time out. Always a good decision. DRG may have given up attacking Masada. Oh no, he hasn't. His Swarm Hosts are sneaking around to the right-hand side, but the Observer saw them, and so did Gerald. This is gonna be so bad. Oh, beautiful, beautiful blink on all those Swarm Hosts. He's gonna get them all. That was 6 Swarm Hosts. He did not have a hunting license to kill 6. Credit to that well-positioned Observer, and credit to Gerald for keeping an eye on that mini-map. Glass half full for DRG. He was maxed out. Now he has room to make lurkers. And Vipers. We're gonna get to see Vipers in action. I like that. DRG's ticked. He's researching everything. He's getting the crackling upgrade. He's getting Hydra speed. He's adding lurker range, and he's getting +3 missile attack. And Gerald, who has the healthiest supply he's had all game, is getting himself a Templar Archive and a Dark Shrine. And the good news for him, he already has the disruptors he wants to battle those lurkers. He's only got 1 Observer though. He's gonna need to do something about that. And that's the problem Protoss faces. When you're making Observers, you're not making Disruptors. Gerald gets that 4th base up and he just dumps a ton of probes on it. I call that the emotional mule drop. This is the absolute best Gerald has looked all game, but I still like DRG's position. Protoss is trying to generate offense, but Zerg shuts him down with ease every time. On the other hand, DRG cannot close this out. Oh, Gerald, he did not have vision for that shot. How did he do that? He is duck hunting blindfolded. I love it. This slow opener of a game has really turned out tremendous. Despite the hits though, DRG is just gonna max out right again. And he's gonna drop his lurkers right on top of Masada. This is not how history played out. If Gerald blinks in to save that base, he will get slaughtered. Lings are inside. DRG gets the overcharged battery. He's done it. He's finally done it. He's killed the unkillable third. Gerald had to sack it, and now he's badly supply blocked. And just like that, all the momentum is swung to Zerg. Gerald has to find a way to defend his fourth. His robotic support bay is unpowered. There will be no more disruptors for him. Fortunately, he's still got 8. He'll just have to use them wisely, like right now. He can't micro that many at once. Not while the Vipers are sucking them into the lurkers. I thought Gerald was about to have one of his magnificent ambushes, but DRG reacted so quickly. Gerald's gonna try to replace Masada with a new base, but DRG has already spotted it. For sure, he's gonna try to shut that down. DRG's practically maxed and very happy to trade units at this point. Gerald is no longer supply blocked, but since he performed that stunt by dying, let's not give him too much credit. DRG is about to come even on upgrades again. Both players opting for just a single numeric upgrade structure, so neither player's paid any attention to armor. Gerald supply blocked again, things are looking dark, but since he's got 6 disruptors, he can't be out of this yet. Boom! DRG has to be patient. Who am I kidding? He's got the remaxed units already queued up. More Lings, more Hydras, more Lurkers, and he's finally taking a 5th. Gerald has been a sensational underdog for almost 17 minutes, but as the Vipers chew through his disruptors, I am definitely losing the faith. But not Gerald, he's rebuilding his 3rd base. Masada will be reborn, which is a good thing because DRG is about to get position over his 4th, and that is practically where all of Gerald's probes are. In a true display of optimism, Gerald has finished a fusion core to go with his single Stargate. What a GG! Oh, I really enjoyed this one. I was not expecting that. Once again, I'm experiencing that weird phenomena that I only seem to want to talk about the play of the losing player. Gerald essentially got his butt kicked out there for almost 20 minutes and still looked absolutely fantastic. And I say this knowing he barely spent any time on DRG's half of the map. First, there was that fantastic snipe on all of DRG's swarm hosts. Sure, at this stage of the game, DRG was taking risks with them, as he was keen to transition to lurkers anyway, but it was still super cool. Gerald's only observer caught the swarm host swinging to the right, and they telegraphed their move exactly where they were going for, and Gerald was sharp enough to catch it. It was a David and Goliath massacre. But that wasn't even his best move of the night. In my opinion, it was this. Gerald was double-shotting lurkers with disruptors without vision of them. Check this out. Once again, Gerald only has a single observer on the board, and this time it's with his main army, so he has no vision of the lurkers. They are cloaked. Watch him hit this shot at half speed. The first hit doesn't quite illustrate because the lurker's gonna unburrow at the last moment. DRG going for the dodge in vain. But with this second shot, you can actually see Gerald correct it. It's going to curve, and he's going to redirect it right at that lurker, detonating exactly where he needs it. Now this time, watch it from Gerald's point of view. This camera angle is actually kind of disappointing because you don't see the kills. All he sees are the spines popping up. And believe me, at full speed, that's a lot harder to pick up. It's kind of like playing Marco Polo, only with knives. He runs his units forward to flush out the spines, and sort of like a bat using echolocation, he gets the kill. Kids, do try this at home, only so you can see how incredibly difficult it actually is. Last time, I swear, Gerald's view, full speed. Watch this. This second shot is truly nuts, and I have to declare it a certified micro moment. Quick housekeeping. Alter Ego, if you're out there, I saw your post, buddy. I'm working on your playlist. Just gonna need a little time. This game's gonna be in there. And thank you to all the new subscribers. You guys keep me going. I'm looking forward to casting DreamHack Summer. So, from my base to yours, Zugzwang out. To continue your StarCraft journey, Nova advises you to click the video in the upper rectangle. But Kerrigan warns you to watch your 6 and click the video in the bottom rectangle. Or you can stimpack your StarCraft experience. Subscribe to Zugzwang StarCraft. Just hit the circle. From my base to yours, Zugzwang out.